morning and happy Monday. It is not only a Monday, but it is the first day of the month. It just feels like new beginnings, and I, updated my planner for the week. If you haven't seen my plan with me video, definitely go check that out because I really liked the way my March bullet journal turned out. But regardless, I over the weekend was super productive in the sense that I really stuck to my goals for the weekend, which was to get all of my schoolwork done so that the entire actual Monday through Friday week I could focus all my energy on MCAT stuff and literally not do almost anything else. So I got all my readings done. I had an assignment due for my foundations class on Wednesday, and so I did that. We now have mandatory learning checks for my foundations class because I guess people weren't watching the pre-lecture videos as much as they should have been, and so now we have learning checks that are embedded in these pre-lecture videos that we have to complete before class. So I definitely made sure to do that as well, and so all of that is out of the way for the week. The only thing is I am gonna have to sometime before Thursday work a little bit on this group project that I have for my race, gender, and sexuality class, and basically put my part of the presentation, just put the content together, because that is due. We're doing our final presentations next week, because next week is the last week of that class, because that class is only a quarter class. So wow, time has flown, and I'd be lying if I said it didn't make me a little anxious with how fast time feels like it's going, and my MCAT date not so slowly approaching. So that's why I am implementing this new weekly structure for myself of all my schoolwork, work, internships type stuff over the weekends, and then MCAT all throughout the week. So I hadn't been going to the gym really throughout February. I had let that slip a little bit, and so new month, new week, new gym schedule. So I'm gonna head out to the gym now. I already did my cars practice for the morning, and so when I get back from the gym, all I'm gonna get to do is read about physics and Gen Chem probably a little bit, but yeah, let's go to the gym.
All right, and as you know, we're going to be looking at critical reflections on ideal theory through the KKI-led experiment in Baltimore.
So today's schedule was a little off, but I finished my foundations class earlier tonight, and now I'm basically trying to reset my sleep schedule and working on a bunch of MCAT stuff through the night. But to get a little bit of change of scenery to make me a little bit more productive, I am down in a workroom of my apartment building, and they're just these little closed off rooms that you can go into, and they just have a table, chair, whatever. So it worked, and I've gotten through a bunch of pages of Gen Chem notes, and it's a little warm down here, so I'm gonna go back upstairs and finish some more. Good, not so morning. So I was up doing chemistry last night until about 6, and then I was I cannot do acid-base chemistry at 6 a.m. Also, my iPad's dying, so I was it's time for a little nap. And now it's about noon, so I mean 6 hours is an actual sleep, but I do not recommend this at all. Just want to preface that I just didn't feel like I had any other way to sort of reset my sleep schedule, and I don't know if this actually did it because I slept a little bit longer than I was planning to, but c'est la vie, it is what it is. So I only have 2 more things in my chemistry section to do, acid-base chemistry and then kinetics. and then I'll be done with Gen Chem, and hopefully that doesn't take up my entire day. And so then I can do a little bit of physics, because my goal is to finish all of Gen Chem and all of physics this week. Which before I had kind of planned it that I was doing like physics 1 and then chem 1 and then biochem, but then I had started doing biochem and I hadn't done like acid-base chemistry yet, and so that just I didn't feel ready to move on to biochem stuff if I hadn't finished Gen Chem stuff. So basically I am going to try to finish doing all of Gen Chem, and so then I can start doing Gen Chem like question packs, because if I've only done like the first half of Gen Chem, then I didn't want to use question packs, because like what if I was wasting questions that I hadn't covered the material for yet, and like all this kind of stuff. So my new plan is basically to finish reading my entire book either by the end of next week or the following week. I'm giving myself a total of 3 weeks maximum, including this week, to finish reading that entire book. And so then that gives me 5 weeks of full like review, like test review, where I've already covered all of the content review. So changing up the plans a little bit, but I mean, that's just, it makes me a little anxious, but that's just like what you have to be able to do, is recognize when something like may or may not be working and alter the plan. So today the plan is to do some acid-base chemistry and some kinetics, I guess. It is almost the end of the week already. I can't believe it's Thursday, but I have my race, gender, and sexuality class tonight, this morning. And it is our last normal lecture, because this is our second to last class. And so our next week is going to be our last class of my race, gender, and sexuality. And we're just gonna do class presentations, like final presentations for that. So I have my drink for the morning and going to log into my class, and then afterwards I'm meeting with my group members to discuss our final group project for next week. So I woke up a little bit early to fit in a little bit of that work before my class started, so that I'd actually have some of my stuff done to talk to my group about.
So we gave you an assortment of readings partly because we wanted you to just read some material that wasn't from Eurocentric philosophical sort of perspectives.
So here we are again at 6 a.m. and I've been working on physics notes pretty much all night. I wasn't working like super solidly. I took like a decent amount of breaks, but we're gonna once again try this whole, take a nap thing and try to get my sleep schedule back on track. So I am napping on the couch this time to try to increase the odds that this will actually work and I will not sleep forever. So when I wake up in about 3 hours, I then will have another 3 hours to do work before I have my clinical ethics consortium at noon. And then after that, I have a class to talk about the clinical ethics consortium. It's actually a really interesting one. It's like talking about when you're out of options as a clinician and like to escalate care or not. Should be really interesting. And one more day in the week.
Speak people's impressions and thoughts and questions. But the things I think that are important to touch on here are this concept of autonomy and what that means, and in the context of this patient, or how we think about it.
Happy end of Friday. So I finished my class for the day, and the rest of my day is just going to be like 30 pages of physics review. So I feel like I did a pretty good job this week of catching up on some MCAT stuff and, you know, just being really productive and knocking stuff out, even though I really didn't want to at a lot of points throughout the week. So this weekend I'm going to be prepping for my finals for my race, gender, and sexuality class. And then after next week, I have a little bit off from school because it's going to be spring break. But I hope that this has been a little bit motivational for you all. I know it's definitely kept me accountable to sort of get a little bit back on track. And if you like this video, if you want to see more of my MCAT journey and my grad program at Harvard, then give this video a like, subscribe, all of that, and I'll see you all next week. Happy weekend and happy studying.